Why is it that some individuals achieve their most ambitious goals despite dozens of failures, while others choose to give up after only a single setback? This profound question is not merely a simple matter of willpower. It reveals a deep difference in human behavioral structures and fundamental mindsets. Without a thorough understanding of this concept, we risk spending our entire lives repeating a pattern of starting well but never truly finishing anything. Success is often commonly attributed to talent or simple luck, but the reality is found in something far more fundamental and structural than those. The real difference lies in how a person maintains and adjusts their daily behavior, rather than any innate ability they might have been born with. Ultimately, high achievers focus on the specific methods used to sustain and modify their efforts until the very end of their journey is reached. Modern society is incredibly skilled at encouraging new starts, but it remains structurally weak at fostering the persistence needed for completion. We encounter an endless stream of motivational content every day, yet we lose focus amidst a vast sea of choices and rapid digital stimuli. Short-form content offers instant gratification, but makes deep immersion and sustained execution increasingly difficult for the average person to maintain. Our plans often fizzle out not because of a weak will, but because our entire environment is designed to disrupt our focus and resolve. We are traditionally taught to avoid failure rather than to endure it, leading us to give up at the very first sign of trouble or resistance. Scientific research consistently shows that the primary reason for failing to reach a goal is the behavioral pattern of quitting midway through the process. This highlights how crucial the abilities to persist and adjust are when compared to initial talent or the excitement of a new beginning. Without a deliberate structure for persistence, we remain in a state of perpetually starting new things without ever finishing what we once began. The core insight is perfectly clear. The decisive difference is not found in the strength of one's willpower, but in the effectiveness of their system. Truly successful people do not rely on sheer will. They create structures that automate their behavior naturally and effortlessly over time. Their successful approach can be summarized in three distinct pillars: small goals, data-driven failure, and intentional environment design for progress. First, they break down massive objectives into tiny executable units that the human brain can easily handle without feeling overwhelmed by the task. Second, they view failure as objective data and information, rather than as a personal or emotional burden that they must carry. Third, they strategically reconfigure their physical and social environment to make the right actions the easiest ones to perform consistently. This design respects the brain's natural and biological tendency to avoid uncertainty and excessive mental burden whenever it is possible to do so. Conversely, most people set giant goals and try to force them through pure will, only to eventually collapse from mental and physical fatigue. The real difference between success and failure is not how strong you are as a person, but how well you have designed your individual journey. High achievers do not try to eliminate the possibility of failure. Instead, they design systems that include failure as a necessary component. Let us examine a specific case of a founder who experienced a truly devastating failure in his very first professional business venture. While most people would have chosen to quit at that low point, he firmly refused to see the loss as a final or permanent destination. Instead of despair, he treated the failure as a necessary process of analyzing which choices were logically and strategically incorrect at the time. In his second attempt at success, he did not just work harder than before. He analyzed his own behavioral patterns and weaknesses first. He clearly defined the specific actions required for each single day, and began meticulously recording the results of his efforts every evening. Significant difficulties remained, but he focused all his energy on modifying his methods rather than changing the overall direction of his goal. Through this iterative process, he gradually built an increasingly efficient and resilient operational structure for his new business to thrive within. After 3 years of hard work, his business achieved stable profit, not through simple luck, but through the power of systemic and planned persistence. This case study clearly demonstrates that the difference lies in the specific way one maintains and adjusts their daily actions toward their goals. The core message here is undeniably powerful. High achievers are simply regular people who have been designed specifically not to give up. We must all transition from relying on our limited willpower to creating enduring structures that sustain our behavior over the long term. Divide your goals into parts. Treat failure as objective data, and redesign your environment to allow for natural and effortless progress. The real key is not to do things perfectly every time, but to simply keep doing them until they finally accumulate into significant results. A successful life is determined not by how grandly you begin your journey, but by how long you can sustain your initial momentum. The fundamental ability to maintain is what ultimately changes all life outcomes and defines the depth of your future success and legacy. By shifting your focus from willpower to system design, you gain a solid foundation for achieving absolutely any goal you set for yourself. This paradigm shift transforms the fear of failure into an objective and constructive learning process that fuels your continuous personal growth. Breaking your massive goals into realistic steps ensures that your execution remains consistent, manageable, and free from the burden of perfection. What truly matters in the end is not a glamorous or loud start, but surviving until the very end of the difficult journey. Success is not reserved for the genius alone. It is the patent and the reward of those who simply refused to quit. Stop asking yourself, why is my will so weak? And instead start asking, why did I try to survive without a supportive structure? Willpower is like a battery that inevitably drains, but a well-designed system is like a generator that keeps running on its own. Most of us are far too tired to live by willpower alone. Let us instead choose the way to win with less struggle. The person living by a system will always eventually defeat the person living by sheer, unorganized, and unsustainable effort over time. I invite you to join me in exploring these humanities further. Let us nourish your scholarly soul together on this rewarding path. Please subscribe and follow for deeper intellectual insights. May your personal journey be filled with wisdom, clarity, and enduring grace. Always remember that persistence is not an innate personality trait, but rather a deliberate and strategic architectural choice for your life. Every great human achievement in our history was built on the solid foundation of a resilient and well-maintained behavioral system. Do not wait for random motivation to strike. Start building your own behavioral generator today, one small piece at a time. The incredible view from the finish line is reserved exclusively for those who simply refused to stop moving toward their goals. It is my sincere hope that this video serves as a catalyst for your own systemic transformation and enduring future success. Let your daily progress be like a powerful river, steady, constant, and eventually capable of carving through even the hardest mountains. Thank you deeply for your time and your intellectual curiosity. I look forward to meeting you again in our next study. Keep questioning everything, keep building your systems, and most importantly, keep your personal behavioral system running every single day. May your entire life be a profound testament to the power of intentional design over mere chance and unsustainable effort. Time is your most valuable and finite asset. Choose to spend it on building structures that truly serve your long-term goals. I look forward with great anticipation to hearing about the systems you build and the goals you eventually achieve through them. Fly far above the exhaustion of the limited human will and ride the currents of your own successful and deliberate design. What you choose to build today becomes the intellectual legacy you leave behind for all those who follow your unique path. Write your own life story with the indelible ink of consistency and the refined pen of a well-designed behavioral system. True freedom is found not in the total absence of rules, but in the presence of a supportive and functional structure. Let your internal system be your compass, always guiding you back to your true north despite the fog of daily life. You possess the internal capacity to build something truly extraordinary. All you need to begin is the right architectural blueprint. Nature itself is a master of efficient systems. Learn from its quiet resilience and its unwavering sense of daily persistence. The final game of life is won not by the fastest runner, but by the one who simply never stopped running. Quiet reflection is the fuel of continuous improvement. Take time to assess and adjust your system as often as needed. I am deeply honored to have shared this intellectual time with you. Please subscribe to continue our shared exploration of knowledge. Stay tuned for more upcoming masterclasses on life, philosophy, and the complex architecture of human and systemic success. I am Dr. James Coe. May your scholarly soul be fat with wisdom and your daily life rich with meaning. Always remember, the system you build is your strongest ally in the lifelong journey of becoming your very best self. For inquiries, reach out to me at the address shown here. Search these terms for more depth. Thank you and goodbye.